how can AI help in ways that humans are involved, both employees and customers, feel better connected and value to brands, right? Like, how do we make sure we keep employees connected and customers connected to that brand and that overall customer experience?
Yeah, so just like we were talking about where the customers have to be the center, like you need to get those customers on the phone. Yes, we're using AI and automation and it's making it so that we feel like maybe we need less man hours to deal with them. We still need to be talking to them. And
Mm.
hopefully we're leveraging personalization well so that these people don't feel like they're just a number. But then it becomes, well, what's next, right? And we want that interconnectedness of the data so that if somebody does something on a site and then we get them on the phone, things start to feel seamless. And there's always going to be more work that we can do to try and optimize this at each piece of the funnel, right? Because there's your onboarding, there's your returns and exchanges, there's so many different areas we could do this, but it's also not just the customers too. We need to involve the employees. And, I was at a company where they used to send employees to actually go speak with customers because the customers were small micro businesses, right? And I'd get so excited because it was an opportunity to actually go and do something different other than playing at my computer for the day. But it has so many far reaching benefits, right? We really need to be upping our user research efforts and really understanding what those pain points are, because we can guess and we can make up all the stories in the world, and we look at this data and we do infer things, but really sometimes when you talk to customers, you find that it actually doesn't align with how they're feeling and what they feel their needs are. So it's really, making sure that we're getting on the phone with customers, and that benefits both the customers and the employees as well, and upping those user research efforts.
Well, you think about how we have been trained as business people to think, and it's very much inside our organization. It's about process, it's about systems. Sometimes I call it customer journey by org chart, where we say, oh, you're in marketing right now, you're in sales, but the customer is experiencing something very, very different. And so we do have to constantly flip the lens and make sure we're looking at things from that customer's perspective. And one of the things that I think we all kind of learned the hard way during the last few years, when there's a supply chain disruption, that impacts customer experience in a huge, huge way. But those supply chain folks weren't talking to the customer experience people, and the data was not connected. And so they had no visibility. This new world of generative AI, we can have those data points talk to each other in real time and be presented to the right employee in the right moment, or the right customer at the right moment, so that the customer then doesn't see something that's out of stock or understands what the limitations are before they order. So it's all kind of coming together in a really powerful way. But again, we have to think about, what do we want as an organization, and what do our customers want, and where is that Venn diagram? And that's where we focus on really applying these tools.
Yeah, those are all great points. And I think a lot of it comes down to, we forget that AI is a product and it has to integrate into products. And especially with generative AI, it isn't the product for the majority of businesses, especially when it comes to customer experiences. So when I'm teaching AI product design, you have to have this sort of human machine alignment. And if we're not designing AI products with people, again, going back to people at the center, it doesn't make any sense. As our models become more advanced, they must also become more reliable. And reliability isn't just this concept of accuracy. Reliability is alignment. It's aligned with the people who use them and people who rely on them to create and deliver value for customers, or those customers who are expecting a great customer experience. Something that I posted a little while ago got over 4 million views, and it was a picture where a CEO was stepping over all the early maturity steps to get straight to generative AI. And, it was a technology-centric post, but in reality, if you don't do that upfront work, you're also stepping over your customers, you're stepping over your employees. It's not a place that you just show up one day. Like, there's no AI transporter. You have to put in the work. And part of that work is starting with that design, building for people, for the user experience, and adopting new paradigms to do that.
Hey, and sorry guys, I cut off for a little bit. Internet issues, things going on in my house, but I caught up the tailwind of that. And I think my only insight to add, and I'm pretty sure everybody covered this on the panel, is that it kind of gets back to what Kristen said. And I think one of the most important points is like that human connection side of it, right? Like generative AI is such a technology adoption where it's just like it's not really personalized, it's not really connected to people, right? It's like we're leveraging something, we're leveraging this massive amount of data that we can use to actually personalize, right?
Mhm.
When customer experience, even looking at it from the finance organization, right? Because we have a lot of customer experience that we need to have as well too, right? Like making sure that we take those initial first steps of connection, right? Connecting to the people, to the customers, understanding those pains, and intimately knowing that customer first, right? That's where I think technology can help us scale and help us move forward in terms of that overall customer experience. Because right now, I think there's a battle to get people's eyes and attention, right? Like that's the biggest battle right now. Every brand is like, how can we keep people's attention for 30 to 60 seconds and deliver an effective message as clear, as concise, and as effective as possible? Like that is like the biggest challenge for a lot of brands right now, because that attention span is like, if you don't get me, if you don't understand me, if you don't know, like, sometimes, and I'm probably say this, like sometimes I get emails like for asking me for like, hey Chris, do you want to buy 15% off women's socks? I'm like, sure, but like that's not really personalized towards me, right? Like, no
Loaded
discredit
sauce.
to women's socks, and I may be interested for my mom and my sister, but like that doesn't really like drive me to buy, right? So as we can directly connect with that intimacy of that customer, that's the game changing aspect of it.